I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. I was away when they held the Republican debate last Wednesday night. And one of the things that caught my fancy, I judge debate as, I think DeSantis, helped himself. I think he probably, in many ways, may have won the debate. Now, they want to give it to this Punjab boy, Vivek Ramaswamy. They want to give it to him. Some of them people don't, some don't. I think there's a whole, listen, the liberal media has an agenda. They don't care who wins or loses. They want their boy to win no matter what. However, one of the things I thought was critical was that at that meeting was the fact that there was a powerful statement made by Nikki Haley regarding a very truthful statement, which the Republicans act like they don't have any idea this went on, that Trump increased the budget by $8 trillion. That's a third of what it was for the last 240 years. For the last 240 years, the budget has only been, I think, at least $22 trillion. It's been 240 years to get it to that point, the deficit rather. Not the budget, pardon me for saying the budget. Maybe I'm a little tired of doing two broadcasts like this back to back. But the deficit over 240 years, it took a politicians, presidents, 240 years to get the deficit, money that we owe out that we don't have, to $22 million. Trump in 4 years raised it $8 trillion, giving the money away like a crazy prostitute. Anyway, prostitutes don't give stuff away. How'd they get in there? I don't know. Anyway, but Nikki Haley pointed it out, and then she said Trump was probably the least liked politician in America. That girl, well, I won't call her a girl. Anyway, I'll let you hear this. I'm sending you got video clip number 2. Let's run that for just a second. I thought it was pretty brave of her to say that.
To you, Governor Haley. So why are you better positioned to turn around this economy that we've heard all of these voters talking about tonight than Mr. Ramaswamy, who is a successful entrepreneur nationally right now? He's beating you in the polls.
Well, I don't care about polls. What I care about the fact is that no one is telling the American people the truth. The truth is that Biden didn't do this to us. Our Republicans did this to us, too. When they passed that $2.2 trillion COVID stimulus bill, they left us with 90 million people on Medicaid, 42 million people on food stamps. No one has told you how to fix it. I'll tell you how to fix it. They need to stop the spending. They need to stop the borrowing. They need to eliminate the earmarks that the Republicans brought back in. And they need to make sure they understand these are taxpayer dollars. It's not their dollars. And while they're all saying this, you have Ron DeSantis, you've got Tim Scott, you've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt. And Donald Trump added $8 trillion to our debt. And our kids are never going to forgive us for this. And so at the end of the day, you look at the 2024 budget, Republicans asked for $7.4 billion in earmarks. Democrats asked for $2.8 billion. So you tell me who are the big spenders. I think it's time for an accountant in the White House.
Vice President Pence did the right thing that day or not?
I do think that Vice President Pence did the right thing, and I do think that we need to give him credit for that. But what I will also tell you is, look, I mean, when it comes to whether President Trump should serve or not, I trust the American people. Let them vote. Let them decide. But what they will tell you is that it is time for a new generational conservative leader. We have to look at the fact that 3/4 of Americans don't want a rematch between Trump and Biden. And we have to face the fact that Trump is the most disliked politician in America. We can't win a general election that way.
That's powerful. It's very powerful. There are two very powerful statements. One is that Trump, listen, as I stated in my opening piece, American presidents and Americans in general have ran up a deficit. That means that money that we owe, that we borrowed, that we haven't paid back. And over a period, America's been in existence for 240 years, and it is taken to an accumulative 240 years to accumulate a deficit of $22 trillion. Took 240 years to do that. Trump, who doesn't pay his bills, I don't care if you work for him as a waiter or a prostitute, Trump don't pay. Trump don't pay his bill. That boy just don't pay. But Trump, in 4 years, added another $8 trillion to the deficit, giving money away like a drunken sailor. I mean, he just gave money to all, and listen, all of his children got money, all of his friends got money. So, and then he got some too. And then the other thing Nikki Haley said was that Trump is the most disliked politician in America. And she's right. There's just a few voices out there, the MAGA people. Maybe it's 30 million of them, but when you look at the whole scale of things, there are 330 million people in America. But they're loud, they're vocal, they got a mega microphone in Fox News, they've got Newsmax, they got One America News, and then they've got some scared politician, homosexual like McCarthy, and a bunch of Ted Cruz, who's also, I think, homosexual, and Jim Jordan, I think, is homosexual. I mean, and they got the Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene with some loud voices and big megaphone. And it makes you think that the man is got awesome power. Listen, I'm tell you something. Judge Chutkin told Trump yesterday and told his supporter, boy, you coming to trial on the 4th of March. Doesn't matter. I'm not making any special arrangement. And she called him Mr. Trump too. They call him president. This is a farce. MAGA people make y'all think that they something bad. Listen, Trump is the most disliked. Even Republicans don't like him. And MAGA people, many of the MAGA people who got something to axe to grind, they don't like him either. The man's a pathological, he's a psychopath. Trump is. And so Nikki Haley may end up being the Republican nominee. DeSantis is a weirdo. I think how he became governor of Florida, I don't know. I guess I do know. He became governor of Florida by kissing Trump's big toe. Talking about he reads bedtime stories about Trump to his little children. And Trump went down there to Florida and endorsed the boy and became governor. I will say this also about that Punjab boy, Ramaswamy. I will say this about him. Trump watch out for that boy. That boy is as phony as a $3 bill. Trump, watch out for that boy, Vivek Ramaswamy. That boy is a hustler, a liar. He just like you two, by the way, always inflating his wealth. And he's praising you like you're a candy apple. The boy's after something. Listen, Trump, you better listen to me now. I'm the Lord servant talking to you. Vivek Ramaswamy, that boy is trying to use you to get your people to like him. So remember what DeSantis did to you. DeSantis did the same thing to you 6 years ago, Trump. DeSantis did the same thing to you that Vivek Ramaswamy is trying to do. So watch out. Watch out for that Vivek Ramaswamy. I will say this about Vivek Ramaswamy, though. I think he has a point of view. I think somebody said he's ChatBTQ or what's that AI company? I think it was Chris Christie said, I'm tired of listening to this boy. He sounds like, because he does, I wonder, can I share this? Can I tell listen, don't tell the algorithm people I say this, don't tell Facebook truth. I wonder, is the boy on some kind of drugs, this Vivek Ramaswamy, right? I think there's something weird about him. No, he is. First of all, anyway, it's all right, okay. But I think the thing about, lead it up, Ms. Engine, I think the thing about Vivek Ramaswamy is that he called a couple of Hamite congresswoman, and I forget her name now. She's from up there in Massachusetts. She's the one that shaved her head. I can't think of her name right now. And then this so-called black poet who's a Pulitzer Prize winner, writer, called them the modern Ku Klux Klan. It's very difficult to explain to people that when their actions are the same actions of somebody that they don't like. For instance, Trump is always, remember Trump was talking about lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up. We're talking about Hillary Clinton because she did something with the not voting machine, but an email server. Lock her up, lock her. Now guess who? They're not saying lock him up. So Trump was really, the same thing he's saying about, listen, what Vivek Ramaswamy does say that we need to take a careful look at is that many of the so-called black leaders espouse the same thing that the Ku Klux Klan espouse. They are just as bad. Now, I know for many of y'all that's difficult to understand, and you probably think I'm a black man hater and all that. I know that I ain't trying to please y'all. Ain't nobody love black. The only person that loves black people, well, they ain't black, because black is a curse too, by the way. Everything black is cursed. Black is a curse. Didn't Malcolm X tell y'all that when he was in that prison up there, talking to that fellow that recruited him? Said black this and white is all pure. Black is a curse. Didn't Malcolm tell you that? Call yourself black. Every time you say a black man, you say a cursed man. But listen, what Vivek Ramaswamy is saying, and I think it's very difficult for people to realize that Al Sharpton and Ben Crump, they espouse the same thing that the Klan espoused. It's difficult for them to realize it. It's difficult for them to understand it. But at any rate, so Nikki Haley may emerge. I don't think the media wants her. And Trump, of course, is running to stay out of jail. Trump is not running to become president. If Trump can win the presidency, he can potentially stay out of jail. And if he can win, even with what's happening down there in Georgia with Fonnie Willis. By the way, that Fonnie Willis woman, woo-wee, that woman, that woman got a whole lot of heart. Well, I tell you that, take on all these politicians the way she's taking on now. And I was on vacation watching all this. I didn't get a chance to talk to you all about this, so I'm overflowing with it right now. But no, I think that Trump is running to stay out of jail. And yesterday he was in court. He was and his lawyers were in court here down in Washington, D.C. with that Judge Chutkan, who's during the Jack Smith January 6th, those 4 items that Trump has been charged with singularly, with a lot of unindicted if you were conspirators and defendants. But she told him, no, you got to come to court on the 4th of March. You got to show up, boy. And I ain't making no special arrangement for you or nobody you know. So that's not, Trump may actually be convicted before the Republican convention. And he may go to the convention, and otherwise it's going to be in Wisconsin. He may actually go to the convention as a convicted felon. However, he also might be in jail by the time they hold a convention in Wisconsin. I told y'all Trump is the trigger of the tribulation. You don't want to believe me. Running around here. And the other thing is that the MAGA group ain't all of what it says. It just got a big mouth. And when you got Fox News, that's the other thing, too. I mean, come on now. Tucker Carlson said in a private email that he hates Trump's living guts. He hates him in a private email. And it's true. Nobody denied it. And when they had that, getting ready to go to court with that voting machine lawsuit brought against them, all that was brought out, that Tucker Carlson hates the living guts out of Trump. And was saying, I'd be glad when we can move on and don't have to report about him. Then the other day, while they were having the debate there in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, I think it was, that the Trump had a pre-planned interview with Tucker Carlson. And then they're sitting there just loving one another. The same thing with Sean Hannity. These are some of the biggest phonies I've ever seen. I'll tell you the truth. Trump is the trigger of the tribulation. Trump is the trigger of the tribulation. There's never been anything like this before. There's just never been any. We're witnessing things of evil we ain't never. These two people right here sitting together act like they love one another, help, supporting one another, hate each other's living guts. They do. But yet, to try to keep their ratings high, keep them dollars flowing in, and potentially Trump become president and stay out of jail, they'll sit down and act like they love one another like they're brothers. At any rate, everybody, I'm James David, man. I'm the Lord's servant. I got more to cover in just a few moments. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.